Namaste, Angels. It's going to be the weekly general reading. I already see a bunch of orbs flying around in here, so this is going to be a good one, I think. Let's begin first off with going over the month quickly, what's going on with the astrology, or been going on with the astrology. We had a bunch of planets that were in Capricorn last week that are no longer, especially in particular, one today, Mars, that was in Scorpio, not Capricorn, it was in Scorpio, has moved today into Sagittarius. And I guess part of the reason why I'm so giddy today, look at that, giddy today. You see the angels? Is because Mars in Sagittarius entered my 7th house of relationships, and there's a Gemini moon today. So it's like my first house. So I'm just hype today. So if I'm weird, pardon me. In any case, going on to this astrology. So we had the full moon in Cancer. That's what we began our month with on the 1st, 1/1, which was an 11/11. 1 for the month, 1 for the day, and 2 for the year made an 11/11. And we had the full moon in Cancer. Some of us had the full moon in Cancer on the 2nd. Also on the 2nd, Uranus, which had been retrograde for a long time, finally faced direct. On the 11th, that was next up, Mercury entered Capricorn. Also, the new moon entered Capricorn on the 16th. The sun had entered Capricorn. There were a few other bodies, celestial bodies that were in Capricorn that we've been going over. On the 17th, Venus entered Aquarius. The sun also entered Aquarius on the 19th. Also on the 17th, we had the first day of the month of Shevat. The 19th, the sun entered Aquarius. Of course, it was the 19th, right? The sun, the father, the 19th. Yeah, I'll talk about some more about that kind of stuff in a moment. So today is the 26th. It is now 11:08. So like Saint Germain and Lady Portia, 11 and 8. And Mars entered Sagittarius today. So Mars, which rules Aries and Scorpio, the red planet, and the masculine planet of love, entered Sagittarius, which is another fiery planet ruled by Jupiter, planet of karma. On the 31st, so it falls into this week, into this reading, we will have the full moon, the full blue blood moon, and lunar eclipse. Also, Mercury, my ruling planet, will enter Aquarius, so one of my ruling planets. Of course, I'm also ruled by Venus. She is the esoteric ruler of Gemini. Mercury enters Aquarius. Mercury rules Geminis and Virgos. Also, on the 31st, there was something else going on. Oh, goodness. It's the 15th of Shevat, which means that's the day. It's like Rosh Hashanah for trees. I'll talk about that. I can't believe I almost forgot. So let me go to that actually right now, the Jewish calendar, because there's nothing on the Christian calendar this week to really speak of. Of course, there's like saints and different things observed every day, but nothing that we would talk about this week. The 31st is the feast day on the Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar, of Tu B'Shavat, okay? And also known as the 15th of Shevat, even though it's the 31st for us on the Gregorian calendar. And let me tell you what that is all about. So for that, I'm going to go to Shabbat.org. Tu B'Shavat, what and how? The 15th of Shevat is the new year for trees, known as Tu B'Shavat. According to biblical law, there is a 7-year agricultural cycle, concluding with the sabbatical year. When the Holy Temple stood in Jerusalem on years 1, 2, 4, and 5 of this cycle, farmers were required to separate 1/10 of their produce and eat it in Jerusalem. This tithe, because that was a means of tithing, is called Maser Sheni, the second tithe, because it is in addition to the 2% which must be given to the Kohen and the 10% which is given to the Levite. So that was money or goods, whatever you had to tithe of your assets. you gave that. On the 3rd and 6th years of the cycle, instead of the owners eating the Maser Sheni in Jerusalem, they gave this second tithe to the poor, who were permitted to consume it wherever they wished. So the poor did not have to go to Jerusalem to eat. They could eat, wherever they stood. On the sabbatical year, no tithes are separated. All produce which grows during this year is ownerless and free for anyone to take. It was therefore of vital importance to ascertain when the new year started for produce. Our rabbis established that a fruit which blossomed before the 15th of Shevat is produce of the previous year. If it blossomed afterwards, it's produce of the new year. And by comparison, grains, vegetables, and legumes have the same new year as humans, the 1st of Teshri. Why is this so? In the Mediterranean region, the rainy season begins with the festival of Sukkot. It takes approximately 4 months, which is from Sukkot to the 15th of Teshri until the 15th of Shevat, for the rains of the new year to saturate the soil and trees and to produce fruit. All fruit which blossom beforehand are the product of the rains of the previous year and are tithed together with the crops of the previous year. Although this day is Rosh Hashanah for trees, as I was just mentioning before, we attach special significance to this holiday because, quote unquote, man is compared to the tree of the field. Deuteronomy 20:19, which is the same as 11:19, the day on which King Osiris told me to have his birthday celebrated, and which I have done every year since. Through cultivating strong roots, faith, and commitment to God, we produce many fruit, Torah, and misfit. Now, this is particularly important in connection to that and King Osiris's birthday because he is the man in the tree. It is his coffin that got intertwined in what we would now recognize as the tree of life. Funny that this would be in the Bible and Torah under Deuteronomy 20:19, huh? There are a few observances and customs that are celebrated on this day. On this day, it is customary to partake of the fruit which the Holy Land is praised. And these fruits are listed in Deuteronomy 8:8. They are olives, dates, grapes, figs, and pomegranates. If tasting any of these fruit for the first time this season, remember to recite a blessing. A blessing recited on joyous occasions, thanking God for this is a quote, sustaining us and enabling us to reach this occasion, end quote. This blessing is recited before the standard ha'etz, which is a blessing that is recited over the fruit. Due to the festive nature of the day, we omit the Takanon sections or petitions for forgiveness and confession. So they will leave that out of the prayers. And that is the story of Tu B'Shavat, or the 15th of Shevat. What else do I want to talk to you about? I guess the moon, or maybe the sky this week. The moon. No, the sky this week, because the moon is from my head, what I think about what's going on. And the sky this week is from astrology.com. Astronomy.com. So it's like a more tangible thing. I'll read that first. Again, astronomy.com, sky this week, if you want to go and read it yourself. Sunday, January 28th, one of the sky's most familiar constellations rules January skies from dusk until around 3 a.m. local time. Orion, the hunter, appears conspicuous in the southeast after darkness falls and climbs highest in the south around 9 p.m. It then stands about halfway to the zenith from the mid-northern latitudes. The waxing gibbous moon stands above Orion late this evening, while the night sky's brightest star, Sirius, trails about an hour behind the hunter. So to me, that's Osiris and Isis following behind him. Monday, January 29th. Although Saturn passed on the opposite side of the sun from Earth only a month ago, it already appears low in the southeast before dawn. From mid-northern latitudes, the ringed planet lines 10 degrees above the horizon an hour before sunrise. It shines at a magnitude of 0.5, which makes it the brightest point of light in this part of the sky. Tuesday, January 30th, anyone with clear skies in North America and across the Pacific Ocean to Australia and Eastern Asia can witness this week's biggest event, the total eclipse of the moon. The full moon, which arrives officially at 8:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning, then lies deep in the Earth's shadow and will dim considerably while likely taking on an orange hue. From North America, the eclipse occurs before dawn and delivers better views to those who live farther west. The eclipse's partial phases start at 6:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 3:48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Those in the continent's western two-thirds can view at least some of totality, which gets underway at around 6:52 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 4:52 a.m. again Pacific Standard Time. Totality lasts around 76 minutes. So I don't know if you guys are catching this. 6:52 is also 13:04 or 11:11, and 76 minutes is 13:04 or 11:11. It lasts 76 minutes, and it can be seen in its entirety west of a line that runs from central North Dakota to New Mexico. The eclipse moon hangs among the background stars of Cancer with the Beehive star cluster M44 4 degrees to its northwest. My understanding is that it's going to linger around the claws of Cancer, the crab. The moon reaches perigee, the closest point in its orbit around Earth, just 27 hours before it is full. At 4:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 30th, it lies 223,068 miles away from us. Wednesday, January 31st. Mars stands out in the southeastern sky before dawn this week. The magnitude 1.2 red planet rises around 2:30 a.m. local time and appears 25 degrees high as twilight starts to paint the sky. It exits the constellation Libra today and moves into Scorpius, standing 9 degrees above the latter constellation's brightest star, magnitude 1.1, Antares. Unfortunately, the view of Mars through a telescope proves disappointing. Its disk spans only around 6 inches and shows no detail. Thursday, February 1st. The dwarf planet Ceres reached opposition and peak visibility yesterday, but it remains a fine sight throughout February. It currently shines at a magnitude of 6.9, and it is an easy object to spot through binoculars. The largest member of the asteroid belt resides in the constellation Cancer the Crab, which appears in the east once darkness falls and climbs highest in the south around midnight local time. This evening, Ceres lies 0.9 degrees northeast of the 5th magnitude star Tau Cancri. Friday, February 2nd. Tonight should provide your first good opportunity of 2018 to view the zodiacal light. From the Northern Hemisphere, late winter and early spring are the best times of year to observe this elusive glow after sunset. It appears slightly fainter than the Milky Way, so you'll need a clear, moonless sky and an observing site located far from the city. With the waning gibbous moon now exiting the early evening sky, the next 2 weeks will be prime viewing times. Look for the cone-shaped glow, which has a broad base and points nearly straight up from the western horizon after last vestiges of twilight have faded away. For those who believe in folklore, the fate of winter rests on the shoulders of the groundhog. If the furry rodent sticks his head out of the burrow this morning and sees his shadow, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. But if the weather is cloudy, it means spring is right around the corner. What does this have to do with astronomy? Groundhog Day celebrates one of the 4 so-called cross-quarter days, which mark the midpoints between the solstices and the equinoxes. Which reminds me, I relisted my winter solstice video under the currently available or featured videos on my page to make it easier to find, because yes, that winter solstice energy is still very much important. So yes, it marks the midpoints between the solstices and the equinoxes. February 2nd falls approximately midway between the winter solstice and the vernal equinox. So some of us are still feeling energy from that solstice, and we may have missed what that energy was going to be about. Saturday, February 3rd, comet Pan-STARRS currently glows between 10th and 11th magnitude, which makes it a tempting target through telescopes for those under a dark sky. What makes it even more tempting is its location in Taurus. The comet spends February's first week just 2 degrees east of the stunning Pleiades star cluster, also known as M45. Look for a small, round, diffuse glow similar to a companion galaxy in the Virgo cluster. And lastly, Sunday, February 4th, the variable star Algol in Perseus reaches minimum brightness at 8:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when it shines at a magnitude of 3.4. If you start viewing as soon as darkness falls, you can watch it more than triple in brightness to a magnitude of 2.1 over the course of about 5 hours. This eclipsing binary star runs through a cycle from minimum to maximum and then back again every 2.87 days. Algol appears nearly overhead after sunset and sinks low in the northwest well after midnight. And lastly, my thoughts on the moon. So it is a lunar eclipse, a full blood moon, and a blue moon. Did I get all the things? Yeah, I think so. And like I said, my understanding, if I interpreted my downloads correctly, Ceres, which we just read about, and the claws of the crab will also be like right around, the moon will be like practically sitting at the edge of the claws. That made me feel like, all right, it's the full moon in Leo. Leo represents particularly the divine masculine, but it could be the divine feminine too. You know, the king of wands and the queen of wands in the tarot, not necessarily in real life. We have some of these Lilith types that are both Leo and Cancer. So I thought of them like those cuspers. And not everybody that's a cusper is a bitter Lilith type. That's not what I'm trying to say. So please don't start that. But of the Lilith types, a lot of them are these cuspers. They've got the Cancer and they've got the Leo. So I thought about them. But more importantly, what I thought about was, again, the divine being sort of facing up against this moon that represents feminine energy and perhaps the divine feminine ultimately, not necessarily as a person, but as an entity, and certainly a celestial body. The moon in real life on this plane rules the sign of Cancer. And that whole dark energy and maybe unhealthy feminine energy is going to be blacked out, completely blacked out. It's a total eclipse of the moon. And the sun, the Leo, will be shining opposite it. That's my thought. Now, the way I said it just now, it might not make any sense. Because I was saying it as it was coming into my head as a picture. But basically, let me say it this way. Karmic partners I feel, for the most part with this moon, not only have we been cutting them off, you know, on both sides, the masculine and the feminine, but I feel with this moon, them being just blacked out, completely blacked out. And their negative energy not even able to reach out to us. Other stuff with this moon, a lot of, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about I was singing the Beyonce song, Single Ladies. And that song is about like the empowerment of the single woman. She's not sad that she's single. I feel that too. And the cards actually support that, because I felt that when I saw this is with what I'm going to begin, the 9 of Autumn. And it can mean many different things too. And I feel that for single people, and maybe more so the newly single, like you had forgotten who you were as an individual, and so you're getting that back. Other single people, they're fine being single in this moment, you know. I'm alone, not lonely. And there's a difference. There's a big difference between being alone and lonely. This is enjoying spending time with you, liking you, loving you. So I think there'll be a lot of that, a lot of self-rediscovery. And this, once we do that, it's like empowering and taking on a leadership role, whether we are the masculine or the feminine. Because again, the moon energy, in general, moons are about feminine energy. And particularly for me, you know, like more so feminine energy of surrender. But I just felt this sort of very karmic attachment to this one, being with the claws, picturing the crab claws and the moon here, and then the eclipse. And I just saw like this bitterness, this crabby chick being blacked out. And then what is left? Leo, which represents the sun in the tarot. So illumination, also things coming to light that we didn't know about before. And then just finding ourselves and our ability to lead, and, you know, without being dependent upon anyone else necessarily. And then that's not to suggest that couples wouldn't be coming together, because I also felt, you know, that would continue to happen too. But it's in a more healthy way, because it's about being interdependent as opposed to being codependent upon one another, or being overly independent and blocking people out like that moon. All right. I didn't go over what the almanac might have said about the moon, but I'll do that with the moon reading. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to the dice, and I'm beginning with Forget It. I should have made an announcement too. My Patreon page is back. It was sort of dead, and like I turned it off for a little while so that I could revamp and make what they call tiers, create new tiers of both sponsorship and subscription. So I could provide daily exclusive content and rewards only to subscribers. Sponsorship, more so for people, individuals, and, you know, maybe business owners, you know, combinations of both, who want to provide, they have different levels of sponsorship there. Some may prefer that if you are a business owner, because that provides like advertisement and things for you as well. But I have different options. I didn't make an announcement. We'll just throw it in there. So we're not spending too much time on announcements. We're getting back to this. Cocktail and romantic dinner. Apparently the dark has been causing problems, because people have been writing me saying, what is the Patreon though? So it is patreon.com, patreon.com/Queen of Swords 99. And I've been told people can't find me in the search, you know, the typical bull. Last week with YouTube, I had issues with YouTube, but I posted a couple. I'm happy to post them all. These emails, issues with YouTube that YouTube wasn't even familiar with. They had to escalate and then re-escalate and escalate some more. Keep sending it to another department to try to figure out what the hell was going on with my account. So all of that was the dark. And I've been hearing from some of you guys too. So just so you know, I am indeed on Patreon, even if you can't find me. Again, it is patreon.com, Queen of Swords 99. Spirit says, eat cake. So maybe cause for celebration this week. Yes. Eat cake and yes can be connected to the engagements that I've been feeling for a long time, as can romantic dinner, which is still here too. All right, so let's go to the cards. Again, I'm beginning with the 9 of Autumn. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. And boom, opening to renewal or judgment, which represents for me the planet Pluto, maybe the sign of Scorpio. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path of most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. So this is kind of like the energy that I was feeling about taking on this leadership role, even if we're on our own and without bringing like the baggage from before with us, just dropping that and facing something, even if we're not part of a partnership, although we may very well be with this energy of 20 here. Major Arcana card 20 and renewal or judgment. Nine of Autumn. And the Princess of Summer, which is basically the Page of Cups. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced is the Page of Cups. Also a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, probably, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. You can expect to kindle a new relationship, romantic relationship, or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So you could be, you know, newly single or finally single and getting back to yourself and feeling comfortable in your own skin. And then here comes an invitation to, you know, partner up with somebody or join another. And you're saying yes, like you should be social right now. You should go on the romantic dinner. You should eat cake. Nine of Autumn. And it's the Queen of Winter, who's experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. Queen of Winter, I'll go one more. It's the Princess of Autumn, the Page of Pentacles. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous is the Princess of Autumn. Also a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career. So this could be the Queen of Swords, Queen of Winter, cutting away, you know, an old job or something that we have been studying. We've mastered this. We're not interested in this anymore. We want to try something new. It could be cutting away that and then taking this self-sufficient role and going out and getting what we do want to do. Studying, signing up for school or going after the new job or something like that. And that earth energy and air energy together could have represented also Mercury, which again rules both Gemini and Virgo, or Venus, which rules Libra, Taurus, and Gemini. They, you know, so they're both rulers of both earth and air. And speaking of earth, we're still at it. It's the Ace of Autumn, which is awesome. The Ace of Pentacles. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, or a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. The overall energy is the Princess of Spring, which is the Page of Wands. Energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative is the Princess of Spring. She is an Aries, Sagittarius, or a Leo. May have something to do with that sun again. Something was coming in with that Leo moon. All right. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. Wow, masculine, renewal. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the right path, the path that's most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. Again, renewal for me represents the planet Pluto, and therefore perhaps the sign of Scorpio. Surrounded by the Eight of Summer, which can also be Scorpion energy, you feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're moving and you're being drawn to what would make you more happy. Either way, you're in control. In the masculine subconscious, it's the Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. This is the kind of power that I was talking about with like the negativity and the karmic energy being blocked out. And it's time for us to like pick up the wand, pick up the baton, and take the lead, right? Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. Feminine, you are the Prince of Winter. Decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. The Prince is the Knight. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. Again, Spirit says yes. So if you have that kind of decision, there you go. We're surrounded by the Two of Winter. Here's the decision. How funny is that? Procrastination and worrying about what others think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Maybe we need to, in our minds, like eclipse out negative energy too and negative people. Even if they're still going to be, unfortunately, be like in your physical space, maybe you can eclipse them out of your personal space, so to speak, or at least your virtual personal space, and make your decisions based on what you want. And mirroring what I said might represent the sign of Scorpio here is what represents the sign of Scorpio here. The Queen of Summer, who is compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. And it's sitting here under this that says, be mindful that your decisions aren't based on what other people want. Make sure they're based on what you want. And then we have the Queen of Summer, the Queen of Cups, basically coming in and saying the same thing. Yes, care for others, be considerate of others, but don't put them before you. Don't put their needs and desires before your own. That's not healthy. Crowning, the Seven of Autumn. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. And here's the Leo. Here's the Moon. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. This is at the root here. The strength, the courage, and power to get through whatever these situations are. Even if, again, we're facing them alone. We're not lonely. We're with us. And at the heart of the matter, boom, I knew abundance was going to be what today was about. So I pulled out my abundance cards too. At the heart of the matter, it's the Wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can move forward and make great progress. The sudden positive change, again, I feel is the darkness, that karmic energy that is specifically represented by Lilith, where when it comes to the sign of Cancer for me, and especially those Cancer Leo cusps with this moon, that is being eclipsed out. And so that's the sudden change that allows for positivity instead. And look at this row here. We have this renewal, judgment, so restoral of relationships and money, where judgment is concerned, where it has to do with money. It means like similar to the 3 of Earth, like the boss having a watchful eye on you, ready to give you a promotion, a raise. It can have to do with ascension. If your boss is the universe, right? Because that's who I work for. If they want to give you a raise and promotion, it's sort of like a literal raise and promotion sometimes. They actually raise your vibration. That can be what this is. And that would open you up to increased flow, increased abilities, psychic abilities perhaps, right? Growth in all areas of your life. So boom, that's what that is. Now, again, some of the feminine, we have a decision to make, or we're awaiting a decision perhaps on the side of the masculine. If we have to make the decision, we are guided to, although this is air, not only use logic and our minds, but what we desire in our hearts too, without being like sappy, you know? So you keep your self about you. Your emotions aren't necessarily on your sleeve. They're in check. And then you use them to your advantage to make a decision that benefits you. Let's clarify these with some more tarot cards, beginning with balance or temperance, which does represent the sign of Sagittarius, which I said Mars entered this week. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. Balance or temperance for me is a very healing energy. It's like restoral, sort of like what I think about when I read the word renewal. Although that's not what judgment means to me. When I read the card as renewal, it's like something being restored and healed that way. And opening to the moon with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. The moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces, but again, the real moon, Earth's moon, rules the sign of Cancer. The moon and ego, or the devil, which represents the sign of Capricorn. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. So we do have right now Lilith, Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn. She entered Capricorn in December. So that is still the case. And will remain the case, I believe, for a few months still to come. The devil back. And the 5 of Earth. Fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. As it relates to relationships and being locked in, we could be feeling that we're stuck in a relationship that is lacking, that it does not benefit us, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a family thing, a job. We're not benefiting from this connection. So this is one of the things that maybe needs to be eclipsed out. And the idea here is that we're not really trapped. It may feel like we're stuck, like we can't make a decision. We can't get out of the situation, but that would be untrue. The 5 of Earth and the Chariot, which represents the sign of Cancer with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. The Chariot is a card of movement, similar to Wands cards, except for this represents water, like I said, the Cancer sign. Movement, travel, modes of transportation, victory, where something was stagnant before, similar to the wheel. All of a sudden, there is positive movement forward. It is no longer stagnant. We're taking off and we're in the driver's seat. So this is also that energy of you possibly being alone, but not necessarily. But if you are, you're fine with it, right? You're in control of your own life. You're in the driver's seat. You're taking the lead, whether you are a single person as it relates to romantic relationships or you're coupled. Like you're taking control of your own life and you're maybe dating who you want. Feminine. Maybe that's the decision. Like, do I do this? People think I'm crazy. Doesn't make sense. We're different religions, we're different ages, we're different races, whatever the case is. That's coming through. Something having to do with being different and taking the chance anyway and just moving forward on it. For others, I mean, this is a general reading. This can have to do with like somebody getting a new car, traveling to visit. It can also have to do with like getting parking tickets and speeding tickets and stuff sometimes. And I thought about the speeding when I looked at the Prince of Winter because he just takes off. But with all this other really, really positive energy, I don't see anything negative. So even if somebody did get pulled over for a speeding ticket, you'd be surprised, I think, that you'll get out of that ticket. And parking tickets and stuff, if that happens, I would send them in with a not guilty plea, and because you are going to get out of that as well. The overall energy is the world. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. So the world, I ended up actually talking to one of my clients yesterday about the world. She got some news. Speaking of cars, she got some news. On the same day that her car was totaled, she got some health news. And I said, now this is the world. I know other tarot readers often say like, oh, it's the world is in your hands, the world is your oyster, the world's at your feet, you know, this is wonderful. And for me, it's not, it never comes through like that, or very infrequently. It's really this energy of being eased out of a situation. So we talked about how the car accident, her car being totaled, is the universe's way of getting her a new car, you know, because she wasn't willing to give up the car. And this is what I said to her, like, you probably were holding on to that car. The universe wanted that car. And she was like, thank you for confirming, because I loved my car, but I didn't, you know, I was supposed to get a new one. I have been told already by my financial advisors or, you know, whatever, like, you're due for a new car, get a new car. And she hadn't gotten one. So now she's getting one. The universe steps in. So that's what this energy is. Now, of course, it won't be the same for everybody. We're all not going to, you know, knock on wood, have car accidents, you know, and lose our cars that way. But we're being eased out of a situation. It can be a relationship. It can be a job. It can be a friendship. Something that's not working, that is karmic in a negative sense, and in that derogatory sense that it's come to be known. And the Queen of Swords is coming through maybe to help us to cut it away. And as is, you know, and she's coming through in the form of the world. Maybe joined by Archangel Michael to take that thing away from us without it being too abrupt and replacing it with something far better. And in that sense, we're victorious too. A top renewal or judgment, which is about moving toward your life purpose. We have the Eight of Water, which is also very much about the same thing. A desire to move on, to the search for something more meaningful, right? Like such as your life purpose. Also, you're looking for spiritual and emotional growth. So this very much being the energy surrounding the masculine, coming through with this very strong major arcana energy, and then supported, the message is supported by the Eight of Cups. Atop this other Eight of Cups, which is right underneath this, we have two Eight of Cups. I mean, they're really drilling this message in this week that the masculine, he needs to move away from whatever it is he's been doing that is not worthy of him, and his attentions, whether that's a relationship, a friendship, or he's been doing nothing, he's been sitting around the house playing Xbox or whatever, and his soul yearns for something more meaningful. We also have our second Queen of Water. Remember, one is right here. So now we have one topping the Eight of Summer. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the Queen of Water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. There's Raphael too. I hear sirens. Care for yourself and others. So for some of us, this renewal, this judgment card is very much so having to do with a relationship and repairing or beginning a new relationship that is very emotionally and spiritually fulfilling for the masculine, whether it's a friendship or a romantic one, or something with somebody with a family, a partnership in business. It makes him feel fulfilled. It makes him feel good. Atop the 7 of spring, and not turning back, going after what you want, is the 6 of earth, gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. This is the energy of Venus yet again, the balance that comes in from the scales of Libra, as well as the earth and the groundedness of Taurus here on the mind of the masculine. This is also the willingness to, like equally give and receive. So he's open to both of those as well now. That's what's on his mind. Atop the Prince of Winter is the King of Fire, who's motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, 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 and communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And sitting here atop the Prince of Winter, who is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So this can be this can be the feminine's energy. And there may be more of us than just me, to whom both of these applies. I'm a Leo rising and a Gemini sun and an Aquarius moon. So this is definitely my energy, both of these. This can be a relationship between fire and air as well, of course. Atop the 2 of winter, it's basically the 5 of winter. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. This is another warning again, not to make a choice that is not your choice. Not to make a choice that is somebody else's choice. Review everyone's motives. Review anybody's motive. Somebody that would be in your ear trying to talk you out of your decision and into theirs. That's what we've got to be careful of, feminine. Again, it's the general reading, so it might not have anything to do with love. It can be in any area of your life. But it does sit here atop the Queen of Summer. So it may have to do, with one or something about which you care. And perhaps specifically a Scorpio or water sign. And atop the Queen of Summer is the 4 of Earth. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money. Good business decisions and giving to those less fortunate. I think this is withholding love. And that when coupled with this or sitting under this, it's withholding love. And again, rather than pursuing the love that you want, making a decision based on somebody else's feelings, desires, or what society's going to think or whatever, rather than doing this exchange, holding that love back, making the wrong choice. That's not the right choice. And, here was where you had the opportunity to make a quick decision and again, go follow your passions. So it's guiding you to do that. This is not major arcana. This is minor arcana, and it's in advance of the week. So you have this opportunity to be mindful that this energy exists. And this opportunity may arise in your life where you have to make a decision, and it's very important that you make it from your heart and based on your intuition and your logic. You think things through, having nothing to do with anybody else. Atop the 7 of autumn is the Page of Fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous is the Page of Fire. So we've been waiting. We planted the seeds. We're reaping what we've sown now, right? We've sown all of this that we needed to do, and we were patient. It's grown. Maybe this represents the 15th of Shavat, right? This is man as a tree. The Page of Fire could definitely represent the king. Again, Mars rules Scorpio. The Page of Fire is outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. And so you've been waiting patiently. You did what you needed to do in order to get an opportunity, and now an opportunity is being delivered to you. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. Atop strength is the Queen of Air. The strength to cut off people, places, and things that do not serve you is what you're being gifted. Independent, experienced, realistic, and witty is the Queen of Air. Objective decision-making. You see how it crosses the decision that has to be made? clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in the situation. So you have also, this strength is going to support you in that, in laughing off what might have been some friends that weren't really your friends. When you release them, you know, not taking it too much to heart. Like I said, having emotions, but not being like overly sappy. At the heart of the matter, atop the wheel of fortune, is the dreamer. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Major Arcana card, the dreamer, sitting here atop Major Arcana card, the wheel. That means things are going your way. Things have made a positive turn. You have this opportunity. Do you take it? It looks really good, but, you know, do you flake out and go with fear, or listen to somebody else who tells you not to do it? Or do you jump at it and trust yourself and trust the universe? And, you know, even again, if you're going it alone, if it's just you jumping and nobody's going to hold your hand and jump with you, what do you do? And you're guided to absolutely take that leap of faith. These are beautiful cards here that we have. And I'm going to further clarify them one last time with my abundance oracle, beginning with, it is safe for you to receive. And opening two, face your financial fears. That could be what this is too. Like you might be afraid, do I take a new job? You're like, I don't know, how am I going to live if I take a new job? It's going to be 2 weeks before I get a paycheck from them. If I leave my other job, you know, whatever the case is, that's like facing your fears and taking the leap anyway. Trusting that the universe is about to give you a promotion. Or do I take a promotion? Do I take a raise in a new job that maybe I'm unfamiliar with this new task? Can I do it? Do I have trust in myself? Crossing the King of Fire here. Can I be the leader that they need me to be for this new job? Yes. Face your financial fears. Attracting, not chasing. Anything or anyone you chase after will run the other way because of fears of underlying chasing energy. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. Face your financial fears. And God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive it. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share, like this. God is your source. On that note, I will cut. Focus on your priorities. Where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome. Your priorities are calling you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and attention they and you deserve. Even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you to feel better and more confident. And guess what's back as the overall energy? Face your financial fears. We have, this is an overall energy, and we still have, as a reminder to you, the World and the Page of Wands, essentially. So here we have the Page of Wands, or the Princess of Spring, as an overall energy. Here it's crowning. So again, this opportunity, all the, so many important messages being repeated over and over again in these spreads here, to let you know, yes, opportunity really is on its way. Yes, you really do need to move on to something that is more beneficial to your soul. You just can't go on like this anymore. Yes, pursue what and whom or both you love, but do it in a way that shows love to yourself too, as the Queen of Water. Be open to giving and receiving that love. Face your fears. Here's sirens again. Healing is on the way. Here atop the 8 of water and judgment. Raise or promotion. What I say? What I say renewalment. It's a raise or promotion. I think those are the exact words I used. Here it is. Congratulations. An increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and your willingness to take action based on your divine work. What did I just say about this? You got to take that action. It's showing you over and over again. It's time for you to leave something or someone or both, right? This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work, masculine. Very good for you. And it's crossing that wheel of fortune too. So that's a more like reassurance that abundance is on its way. A couple times this week, actually, I posted on my Facebook because I was seeing all these 8s. Here comes the abundance. You know, I knew it was on its way. Here atop the Queen of Water and your second 8 of Summer, 8 of Cups, is organized for success. Don't let the word organize intimidate you, as it's simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you to know and to plan your next action steps. And you do need to take action. Again, your soul yearns to move on to something else. Atop the 6 of Earth and this giving and receiving and this balance and equity and love and sticking to your guns and your decisions and not letting anybody, you know, bend your will and turn you away from your inner guidance, the guidance that the universe, or dare I say God, is sending you. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. Why? Because God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God. And your faith opens the doorway to receive. What did I say about this? This is about giving and receiving. Total 100% unconditional love. Unequivocal unconditional love is what that card means for me. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. And again, this crosses the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about plenty of abundance. Feminine, let's see what we got. Atop the King of Fire and the Knight of Winter is declutter. And look, it's like a divine being sitting on the moon, holding the world in her hands. This might be Venus herself. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Maybe you need to keep some time open for a date. That just came to mind too, that romantic dinner. And I'm not saying sit around and wait, because that might send out chasing energy and you don't want to do that. But keep your mind open to it. And it's mirroring this 6 of Earth too. Keep your mind open to it and keep your schedule open to it. Such that, you know, you're willing, you're flexible, you're open. I'm not saying like don't make plans with people. No, I can't go out with you because I gotta wait and see if I'm gonna get to go out with someone. I don't mean that. But I mean, just being open to things. I was moved to order clothes for, I've never really celebrated Valentine's Day. I was married for a long time. My ex-husband would get, you know, chocolate for me, chocolate for the kids, cards maybe. And that was the end of it. That was the end of Valentine's Day. We never made a big deal out of it. My divine masculine and I, we celebrated Valentine's Day every year together. But pretty much that's how we celebrated it, which is more than fine to me. Just being together, like that's enough. That's what we did. But as far as like, you know, elaborate Valentine's Day, like I know some people do a whole bunch of stuff. That's like never been my experience. And this year I was moved to buy an outfit for Valentine's Day. It hasn't even come up yet, but I did. We'll see what happens. I don't know what that was about, but I bought a new blouse and new pants. And I might get some new shoes. We'll see. Maybe next week if the dice come up with buy shoes, I'll do that too. Here atop the 2 of Winter and the 5 of Winter, 5 of Air, 2 of Air, or Swords, is savings. So that could be a decision too. Do I give you all of what I have? whatever that means, give you all of my asset and not hold any from me, whether it's money, energy, love, time. You have to put yourself as a priority there too. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is a part of your self-care and the path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. So they're saying, like, you make $10, spend $9 if you want, but save $1 for you. Put it in the bank or jar or whatever you got to do. Here atop the Four of Earth and the Queen of Summer, which guides us to, not to give too much away of ourselves or to withhold too much of ourselves, to do it in balance and in a way that is healthy for us, first and foremost, as a priority. That said, the abundance angels say employment change. Your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you to release the old and to welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. So that can be the world, the energy of the world for some of us. That is the overall energy with the angel tarot. We could be being eased out of our old job, our old career path. Remember, like, I have degrees in accounting and not to mention science, biology, and I'm reading tarot. Not because that's what I have to do, obviously. I don't have to read tarot. Again, I've got degrees in accounting and science. But this is what the universe moved me to do, to teach this. And so some of you may be similarly moved to move away from what is comfortable and familiar and maybe even easy for you to something that is not, but better serves your purpose. And you're guided to, again, take the leap of faith when that opportunity is presented by the Page of Wands. Atop that Page of Wands and the Seven of Earth is detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and your relationships. And notice it's crossing this Five of Air, which tends to often be people, that don't mean us well, frenemies and stuff. Be discerning about your friendships, your associations, and your relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. And that goes for you too, masculine. Again, you've got these two eights of water sitting here next to this card, one crossing it, one sitting next to it. And you've got to get away from people that don't serve you too. At the root, this is funny. It's called moonlighting. Atop strength and the Queen of Air. Moonlighting. You can start working on your dream career part-time while keeping your other job to pay the bills. Okay, that's a way out for you too. Sitting here next to the employment change and crossing the savings. Soon your dream career will take flight and fully support you. So, don't leave your job if you don't have to, and still start your separate career path. My oldest and dearest friends, best friends, happens to be on this journey, this path with me. And she works for the federal government. So she was put on furlough last week when the government closed. But she has her own, entrepreneurial projects that she works on too. And hopefully that will someday be her only job. But in the meantime, she moonlights. She has both. And thank goodness, thank God. Thank God that God is her source, Here atop the Dreamer and the Wheel of Fortune is donations, tithing, and charitable work. And how funny is that with this week, again, being the week in which the 15th of Shavat falls, which is all about tithing. That's what the holiday is about. Give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you. And know that your generosity will be returned to you many-fold in miraculous ways. So we're being guided, again, to take a leap of faith here and to give away money, time, energy to people who support us spiritually, and people who inspire us, organizations who support us spiritually, organizations that inspire us, and trust that that abundance is going to come back to us over and over and over again. And aren't these cards together an inspiration to do just that? The dreamer and the wheel, and a guide to do some tithing. So where we like feel that we want to support something, but we're like, but I don't have enough money. This is the universe saying, stop withholding that money. I'm guiding you to give it out. Money, energy, time, whatever it is, whatever charity of your choice it is. Stop withholding it. I'm guiding you to give it out. And let's see what you do. On that note, here's your advice for the week. Lastly, I have my angel therapy cards. I felt like we could use some therapy, maybe. You are a powerful light worker. It's safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings you great blessings in loving service to the divine. And, whoop, oh dear. Let's see what we got here. All of the, oh, look at that. One of the cards that leaped out, Twin Flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Another is, have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. And I thought there was a third. Maybe not. Listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine, which is what all these queens of water that we have here suggest as well. And clear yourself, which is what the queen of air says to do. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. And this Scorpio energy could be saying the same thing, like death to anything that doesn't serve us, as does this detox your friendships card. So with that, I'll put them back inside, but I otherwise would have opened to, this is appropriate too. Cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. So that's kind of relevant here too. I was just shown Heart Chakra, which is a card about Archangel Raphael. You know, I'll go ahead and show you guys too. There it is. Heart Chakra. The answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Again, the queen of water keeps suggesting that we follow our own heart, not somebody else's. Be open to giving and receiving love, which is what the Six of Earth has been telling us to do throughout this reading as well. Okay. Powerful light worker and solar plexus chakra. It's safe for you to be powerful and to take charge of your life in positive ways. That's that leadership that we spoke of from the moon, solar plexus chakra. And we're back to cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from your past relationships, then freeing you up from destructive patterns. And on this note, I will cut your cords just back. I didn't show you the card. It's manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and your natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. So we talked about this during that reading. Talked about that during this reading as well, right? The chasing energy is to chase away stuff. If we want, if there's stuff that we want to manifest and bring it in, then we send it love. Not only love, but welcoming energy was the other thing. Okay, the overall energy is power animal. Geez, I don't know why I couldn't say that. Your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. So further to that, masculine, you are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. Feminine, throat chakra, the angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. That may have something to do with this, right? These are air cards, winter cards, swords cards, whatever you choose to call them. They may have something to do with something we have to say, something that's on our mind. And again, something that other people may be saying. This could be gossip. This could be conflict. This could be, disagreements, arguments with other people. This could be people whispering in our ear. Things that, they shouldn't be butting into our business, but we shouldn't be allowing them. All that kind of stuff can come from these, and it may have to do again with a decision that we have to make or that we are awaiting an answer to. And if it's up to us, remember, if we're debating a decision, we might be trying to get this yes out. And maybe the throat chakra needs to be engaged in order for us to get this yes out, because it's being held back by some sort of pride or ego or something that we are avoiding saying, yes, I'll meet with you for, romantic dinner or coffee and, perhaps cake. We're avoiding, or we can't get those words out of our mouth because they're being held back by some, restrictive energy that is a negative emotion or attached to a negative emotion, or something that we need to declutter from ourselves and detox of ourselves so that we can continue to raise our vibration. When we 5 of Swords, we are, again, bringing negativity upon ourselves, typically, in my opinion, as most of you know. Perhaps all of you know. Speaking of that restrictive energy, looks like the masculine may have it. It's the 8 of Winter. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you're really not. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of confidence, self-confidence, if you affirm your freedom. You have to decide first. So maybe you need the throat chakra too, masculine. Maybe you need to get into your feminine energy. Use the throat chakra to affirm your freedom. I am free. I don't have to take this. I'm a man. I don't need this. Leave me alone. Whatever it is. Let go of me. Because remember, you need to move away. And that can be metaphorical. That can be literal. That can be why the Chariot showed up here, right? Remember, the Chariot is about movement and can be about moving, and it is about victory. So maybe you finally get those words out, like I was saying to the feminine, you finally get the words out and affirm your freedom, and then you are victorious in that sense, and you're able to move away. That's double the Chariot energy there. From the animal tarot to the feminine, the 4 of Autumn. So we have our second 4 of Autumn here. This is one right here for us feminine. This one's ours, right? Remember, we were determining whether or not we're being too restrictive or too generous with our energy. And that energy can translate to time, money, love, whatever, depending upon our situation. So we're getting another one. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. So that could easily be attached to this. And again, being more welcoming. Getting the words out that are more welcoming to let people in and drop that wall down. The masculine's getting a second 7 of Fire. He's got one right here. How funny is that the last 2 cards, the last 2 advice cards, are from here and here, respectively, for the masculine and feminine. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Some people you're not going to argue with. You're just going to decide to walk away from them. And that's fine. And it's up to you which ones you give that energy to. to address their concerns or your concerns with them or whatever the case is, and from whom you walk away. That's up to you. From the Angel Tarot to the Feminine, the High Priestess with Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. This is about our spirituality this week, I'm feeling. That being heightened. Again, we have this Queen of Water here. We've got another Queen of Water somewhere else. This is about, yeah, the increased intuition, the heightened spirituality as well. And that energy of both the Queen of Swords and Gemini and Cancer and the crab clause. All of that is coming out. And the High Priestess can represent water signs, and certainly for me, and in real life, as far as I'm concerned, Gemini. As far as I'm concerned, I believe I've demonstrated time and time again, Gemini. Let me throw that in. Speaking of that, I just thought about something I wanted to tell you guys. For the masculine from the Abundance Oracle and the Abundance Angels, attracting, not chasing, anything or anyone you chase will run the other way because of the fears underlying the chasing. This might be going to what I was saying. If the masculine is asking you a yes or no question, and he's doing it in a chasing manner, that may be while you're struggling to get words out too. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. I mean, right, that goes both ways, and it's meant to go both ways, as this suggests. And lastly, from the Angels of Abundance to us, obstacles and blocks are lifted. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles and blocks. Blocks are lifted away from you. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. And this can be what the Cancer energy and the Chariot mean for us as far as moving things away, us being victorious. It can be blocks moving away, or us moving away from blocks and moving beyond them and not being concerned or worried by them anymore. And that's what we have there. Now, to try to surmise a couple of things to make sure that the point is driven home, because I think that's what the angels would have me do with all these cards that they repeated. Masculine, there's something away from which you need to move, or someone away from which you need to move. Your soul is calling for you to do so. It's tugging at you. It's pulling at you, saying, please come with me. We want to do this. We want to search for our higher purpose, and that involves this place, this person, this thing, a combination of those. Please go with it. Yeah, and be open to giving and receiving love. Like, a lot of us feel unworthy, and I think I see that more so, at least reflected. Feminine may be feeling it, but I think hers may be a little bit more reserved. Out in the open, I see that more often with the masculine, like where they feel unworthy, so they push away. But then when they're ready, now they start chasing. And then we're uncomfortable because we're like, wait a minute, this guy wasn't interested in me for, for so long. And now I feel attacked. So we got to find that balance. And again, be able to give and receive love in a healthy way, masculine. Feminine. There was something here I wanted to say about us. Oh, okay. Well, this is coming. There may be relationship. I was going to say romantic, but there may be relationship situations, period, that come up between air signs and fire signs. Some may involve conflict, with these sitting here atop this 5 of air. There may be some romantic ones, and because I keep wanting to say that. And actually, the true ultimate divine couple, right, of all time, not of the tarot, but of real life, this would apply. King of Fire can easily be any fire sign, right? Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is the red planet. and the masculine planet of love, counterpart to the feminine planet of love, Venus. Now, Venus, of course, is ruler of Libra, but also Gemini. Now, Gemini, for me, many of you would know, is the, as it relates to tarot, is the page of winter. However, more traditionally, Gemini is the prince of winter, the knight. That's Gemini in the tarot for, traditionally for tarot readers. So this would very much describe the real king and queen of divine unions, Isis and Osiris. So we could have some of this, and that may be why that wants to keep coming out of my mouth. We could have some of this going on this week. And if, for us feminine, we do want to say something, we do feel moved to 5 of air, let's try to stop and think and not do that. I actually had a client last week who said, like, I didn't want a 5 of air, so I did this, and I was like so proud. We don't want a 5 of air. What else was I feeling? Here, this is important too. There's so many different ways to give of ourselves. And a lot of times we make excuses of why we can't. If you've got to declutter, remember this is crossing the decluttering. If you got to declutter and take stuff out of your house, there are clothes that don't fit you, there are things, then tithe those. Give those to a local charity. It says something that supports you, but that's also, look, it's also here crossing the 6 of earth, and that's the giving and receiving. That's the exchange of love. So let's do that if you're cleaning up, and that's going to help to make you more abundant. That's not why we're doing it, but that's the blessing that comes with it. And additionally, so how awesome is that? Even like supporting my channel. I'm kidding, but seriously, I'm kidding. But realistically, yeah. Even signing up for my Patreon, right? Or any other kind of thing, if you feel so compelled, if you feel that I support you spiritually or I inspire you, would be tithing. Or anybody else, that from whom you get any sort of inspiration or support. This is here at the heart of the matter. And they really not only double, but triple down on the message. So I think that this is important for us to do. And again, now, especially now that I see this trifecta here, and that it's crossing, most importantly, this energy of both giving and receiving, which again is Venus and abundance. And so if you want her to gift you with love and money, right, abundance, then she's asking that you do it for others and towards others. All right. I guess that's it. I'll be back, guys, with love. Speaking of love and Venus, I'll be back with love and a much shorter video, hopefully, because we're just going to get to love. We're not going to talk about other stuff. And the moon, and special things for my Patreon subscribers. So again, if you want to sign up, it's really the perfect time. Any time is going to be an awesome time, and a time that I appreciate. But February 1st, I plan on having a bunch of stuff for my subscribers to enjoy. All right, guys, I'll talk to you again soon. Namaste, angels.
My feet won't touch the ground.